Many of us are patiently waiting for the official announcement of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 to finally be released, but with that comes many questions as to what we might see in the possible next installment. Joining me here today is JrzSaiyan, and today we're going to be sharing our thoughts as to what we see and what we want to see featured in the next Dragon Ball Xenoverse video game. In particular, the Saiyan Class that has to involve the Super Saiyan God class. Now, I personally would love to see several features included within the Saiyan Class in the next Dragon Ball game. One feature in particular is the God class, only because if you go on ahead and look back on Dragon Ball Heroes, we get to see like remnants of Super Saiyan God being incorporated onto your custom characters and stuff. So I just feel Super Saiyan God is definitely needed within a Dragon Ball game, but not something to where it's very easy to unlock, because if it's easy to unlock, a lot of players are going to go back and just try to utilize that to their advantage online and stuff. But my question to you is, do you feel like a God class is necessary? And if you agree, do you believe that it should, give you the option to pick between red or blue forms, or both, if that's by default? Because for me personally, I would love to see a God class element. Of course, you're gonna have to, just earn your stripes and EXP points to unlock it, in my personal opinion. Because if you just have it to where the form is easily unlockable, everybody's gonna go on ahead and use it. So if you're gonna pick a Saiyan class, I do believe that they should definitely incorporate a God class, and you have to work your way to get to that, because obviously it's not easy to obtain, and nor should it be easy for anybody else to have out there, especially when it comes down to multiplayer and stuff. So do you feel like the God class is necessary? And would you incorporate two separate Super Saiyan God forms, the Super Saiyan God Red and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, or would you have it to where the player can do both? What are your overall thoughts on a possible God class for Xenoverse 2?
Yes, Xenoverse 2 needs a God class. How could it not have a God class? Look at where we're at in the whole Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball series as a whole. We need a God class, man. Not only would that be so hype, but just like you said, it cannot, I repeat, it cannot be something easy to obtain. It has to be something you obtain at a certain level, meeting certain requirements, and it should be two different, right? Super Saiyan God, and then you train at that form to a certain point to where you get Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. I feel like it needs to be more like Dragon Ball, so you actually feel accomplished when you actually get the form. Don't you think?
Okay, so you're saying you're gonna go by the forms of having red and then blue last, but in order to get to blue, you're gonna have to bust your ass in the Super Saiyan Red form, right?
Yes.
Do you think it's necessary to have that? Because you just said yes. Now, why is that? Why should the Saiyan class have a godlike feature? I mean, what about those who just prefer just to have a regular old Super Saiyan? Like, why would you incorporate the God class?
Now, I would want it to be an option, of course. Not everyone wants to go Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Right. Me personally, I would want to choose every once in a while, like, okay, well, I just want to stay Super Saiyan, because for me personally, I love the Super Saiyan. It's just so iconic for me. I would rather just go Super Saiyan than Super Saiyan God. Now, of course, those higher forms would have higher boosts and higher whatnot, right? Whatever they want to incorporate. But is it necessary? I would say yes, because of where we're at in the series, but I do want it to be an option, because like you said, some people would not want to go God, some people would, but they need to know, okay, well, if they're going God, they are going to have higher boosts than you, higher stats than you, because they're so much stronger, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely, and I do agree. I do feel as if the Saiyan class should offer like different brackets. For example, you're not only able to become a Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, but if you choose to go down the road of a God, you're gonna have to, sacrifice some EXP. Perhaps maybe do like, certain challenges in order to unlock like different things in order for you to get to that step. Of course, obtaining the form shouldn't just be like a different color variation to your character. I think that the form ought to have pros and cons to it. Like, for example, if you do unlock the form, it increases your health bar tremendously, or possibly increases your power bar intensely. So with the downside of that, I would like it to where like you said, you have the option to either become a Super Saiyan God, which is the ritualistic form, or the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form, which is the blue form. Or maybe in fact, if they have like a mode to where you have to train with Whis in order to unlock it, that would be really cool. So my second question to you is, do you feel like we should be given an ultimatum as to whether or not we should have to pick between having to have a Super Saiyan 4 or choosing either that or having to go Super Saiyan God? Because I don't believe you can have both. It's just too much, and I think it's unfair. So what do you think here? Because I think after the character, well, at least the player reaches, you know, the maximum potential of their current character, which is Super Saiyan 3, I think once the player gets to Super Saiyan 3, they should have the option to either go down the GT route and choose to become a Super Saiyan 4, or choose to become, you know, a Super Saiyan God through the Dragon Ball Super route. So what are your overall thoughts on the players having to pick an ultimatum between choosing Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God? Like what are your overall thoughts on that?
Bro, now that you mentioned that, oh my god, that sounds so epic. Now that would be really hard. Really hard for me to choose.
It would, because like you would get there, like once you max out Super Saiyan 3, it gives you the option.
4?
Like, do you want to unlock Super Saiyan 4 or do you want to become a god? It's like, oh shit.
And that's where having more than one character, you know, comes in handy, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But I completely agree with you. They should have that. Now, will they implement it? I don't know if it's a hard thing to do. I guess transform your character to have fur all over the place. You know, I mean, it's kind of a big transformation in Super Saiyan 4 than Super Saiyan God, which is just like the coloration and of course the boost. But I mean, boost is like in-game. It's not really appearance.
Right.
But yes, I agree, dude. That would be one of the most epic things, because you wouldn't just see, oh, well, everyone's a god. It'd be like, okay, well, that guy's
exactly.
Super Saiyan,
I couldn't agree more. I feel as if people need like ultimatums, because once you reach that, like in a way, GT and Super are very different, and I do think that at a certain point, once you reach like the max level that a Super Saiyan 3 can reach, and once you essentially become the strongest you can possibly be, like you can automatically get the option to where either you can ascend to a Super Saiyan 4 or transcend into a Super Saiyan God. Now, it would be pretty epic, because it will actually tear people apart, because you want to become a god, but then you want to become a Super Saiyan 4, but then you want to become a Super Saiyan 4, but you really want to become a god and stuff. So that would really, you know, make for hard decisions. So my third question is, do you think players should be allowed to customize like their Saiyan God colors and auras, or do you think they ought to keep it traditional to like red and blue? Because Battle of Z actually had a very good dynamic to where like you can customize like your current character and stuff. I remember people were having like golden Broly, and it was like, you know, a white and black Goku. Like it was pretty cool, like the way you can customize like your outfits and stuff. So do you feel as if like once you become a god, or at least, you know, a different transformation to where it allows you to customize your overall appearance, do you think that should be an option, or do you think they ought to stick with like traditional colors here?
With the God form itself, I think it should be the traditional God form colors. Super Saiyan God is red. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is blue.
Right.
Now, with the regular forms, I believe you should be able to customize it, like you said, Battle Z. Now I didn't get to play Battle Z because my PS3 had broken at that point. But I mean, what you said, what you had said, kind of reminded me of Ultimate Tenkaichi, kind of the customization as well, where you can change the aura, you can change the aura colors for every form, and then once you transform into your form, you have different moveset. Now that would be even more epic, bro, having a different moveset when you transform. But yes, I agree. You should have a customization. That's where I feel like they went a step down, then step forward, which not implementing that in Xenoverse 1. But then again, if you implement everything in Xenoverse 1, you have nowhere to improve for the next game. So
absolutely. And going back to Xenoverse 1, how many of us were choosing Saiyan Warriors over and over again? I mean, I'll vouch for myself and say that I was always picking, for the most part, Saiyans online, like, because the Saiyan class was such an like very interesting class. Like the Namekians weren't all that. You know, the Majins were hardly ever used. The humans were never used. It was always the Saiyans, the Arcosians, or the Frieza Clansmen race members, and several others. But for me personally, I do think that yes, they ought to keep it traditional for the God colors, because I mean, in a way, some people might disagree and they might say, well, I would like my Super Saiyan God to be green, or my Super Saiyan God to be purple and stuff. I understand that. But to a degree, I think that, you know, traditional colors are to stay the same. You can customize your outfits and stuff, because it'll really tell you apart from that aspect. But the moment we get online and we see somebody become a Super Saiyan 2 and he has purple hair, and somebody else becomes a Super Saiyan 3 and he has like blue hair, it'll really be like weird, because it wouldn't be Dragon Ball in my opinion. And the reason why I bring like the alteration of colors up is because there have been several people in my older like Xenoverse 2 videos that were talking about, well, we ought to feel like, you know, you should customize your hair and stuff. I understand that, but like customizing the colors and stuff to where like they actually transform in their auras, like again, it could work in an essence, but then if you have the Super Saiyan ability equipped onto your character and you have them transform from like green to purple to gray and stuff, it's just going to be like it's going to be all wacky-tacky, but I do agree for like the god forms, keep those colors present, do not change them. And in terms of a god class itself, again, we saw in Dragon Ball Heroes that they're incorporating custom god characters and stuff, which is pretty cool. And so, like, I think that the possibilities are endless. But I do think that Xenoverse 2 ought to incorporate a god class only because it'll allow the players to strive and work harder for like towards something different. Because in Xenoverse 1, once we all reached like Super Saiyan 2 and we all try to gun for that one ability, like it just became dull because we all assumed Super Saiyan 3 was in there too, but they took that out. So I would love it to where, like, you know, certain characters can become Super Saiyan 3s and whatnot.
That'd be awesome.
But like in terms of like the Saiyan class itself, what would be something else you would like to see like be incorporated in the Saiyan class? Because in Xenoverse 1, again, we all assumed that we were gonna have Super Saiyan 3, we were gonna have Super Saiyan God, that we were gonna have, like, you know, the Ozaru transformations and whatnot. Like, what do you think ought to be implemented in the Saiyan class for the next game that you feel would work?
Well, one thing that a lot of players had really disadvantaged because of Saiyans had this is probably the only advantage that Saiyans had other than base attack in Xenoverse 1 was Super Saiyan spamming, right? So I would
explain that, please.
Okay, so pretty much once you turn Super Saiyan, your gauge is going down slowly. Super Saiyan goes down slowly. Super Saiyan 2 goes down a little bit more fast, but your attacks are a little bit stronger, right? Of course.
Right.
But you could do as much attacks without wasting the key bar. The key would just keep going at its pace.
Oh yeah, like 50,000 Kamehameha waves. I've seen them before.
So I think it should be just like the older games, where you're actually wasting that key in order to get it back. You need to fight. It needs to be more like a Dragon Ball game. I hate seeing people run around like, bro, we're playing Dragon Ball game. You want to go play, you want to go play drifting? Go play Mario Kart or something. You know what I mean? I want to see them implement, less spamming into the Super Saiyan. I guess no infinite key when you're Super Saiyan. Even though I see where they're going with that, because Super Saiyan is like a major transformation.
Right.
But that's a huge disadvantage for everyone. You want to make it equal to where it goes down to skill, right?
Right.
Not spamming the move. So I want them to kind of implement less infinite key and more Super Saiyan actually be a transformation of skill, where when you go to Super Saiyan you do get stronger, but it has its consequences, right? It tires your body out more. You're using more energy, just like the regular series. They need to implement more of the regular series science into it.
Yeah, and you're right, because online I'll never forget. I was Final Flashed one game like continuously, and I mean I understood like the premise as to why, because when that dude transformed into Vegeta, I knew right off the bat he was just gonna like spam Final Flashes endlessly. But I do believe that the Saiyan class does deserve more of a twerk. I do believe like they do need tweaking and stuff, like they do need improvements. Definitely add in more pros, but with that have some cons as well, because you don't want to have one class like be singled out amongst the rest. So comment down below as to what you guys believe should be added on to the Saiyan God class. Would you guys like to see a God class for the Saiyans, or would you guys like to see something different? And comment down below on your overall thoughts on the ultimatum theory, whether or not players should be allowed to choose from Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan God. We would like to know your thoughts down below, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to subscribe. That way you guys don't miss a single Dragon Ball update. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys cannot wait for Xenoverse 2, because I am excited. I have a very positive feeling, at least 90% chance that this game is going to drop next year, and I'm so hyped about it, because if you think about it, like, time is going by really fast.
Oh yeah.
So before you know it, we're going to be entering 2017, and then once that comes around, boom, we're going to have another Dragon Ball game, and I cannot wait. So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Check out JrzSaiyan down in the description below, guys. Thank you all for watching once again. Tune in for more, and we'll be seeing you all later. Everybody, take it easy. Peace.